Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube, just Daf It. Today we're doing Nedarim, Daf Lamed Hey, number 35. Apologize for the background noise. I have to give a share early today. None of the other side rooms are available. People are still davening. So we have to do it in here today. I want to give a special shout out to my cousin, Ben Frankel, on the birth of a baby boy. Mazel Tov. I think this is the first Mazel Tov I gave out in the middle of a share, so it's pretty historic. So Ben, you should take it, appreciate what I'm doing over here. Anyway, you should be zoked on much knockouts from your son. All right, let's get started. Top of Lam Ham and Olive. Yesterday we discussed the Shita of Rava. Rava says that a person says Kikari Alecha, my loaf of bread should be usher to you, and then he gives it to him as a present. So according to Rava, even though I gave it to him as a present, no longer is my loaf of bread. It's no longer Kikari. Nonetheless, I meant to usher it on you. So the Gemara discussed that a little yesterday, and the Gemara is going to try to bring a disproof from a Brisa against Rava. Top of Lamed Ham and Aleph, 35a, ACV. The Brisa says, Amar Lo, he said to his friend, someone said to his friend, Shilani Paraska, let me borrow your cow. I want to plow my field. Amar Lo, Konan Parashani Konoi, person out, he didn't want to lend it to him. He says, my para, my ox, my cow is usher Torah's nether to you. Nichsei alecha imyeshli para elazu. Or alternatively, he said to him, all my possessions are usher to you if I have more than one cow. Right? Similarly, Hishalani kardumech, he didn't ask him for a cow, he asked him to borrow his shovel. Amar lo, konam kardum sheishli shani konoi. Either he said to him that I want to answer my shovel from you benefiting from it, or nichsei Allah imyeshli kardum elazeh. Or if he wants to be nice, he says, my shovel is usher to you if I don't have any other ones. If I only have this one, right? If I have other ones, then it should be usher. If I don't have another one, then it'll be mutter. Meaning you want to be nice to the guy. I don't think I have any ones. I'm probably going to give it to you. But he knows. Like the Bryce continues. It ends up he has another para. He has another cardom. So he got his wish. He answered his para, his cardom. He was jealous. He didn't want the guy to get it for free, to borrow his cow, to borrow his shovel. So he can't get benefit from the person's cow or his shovel while the person's still alive. Mace, but if he died, or was given to him as a present, then it's mutter. So you see what? That if you give it to him as a present, even though I answered it, right? I said my para or my cardum was usher on you. If you give it to him a tana, it's mutter. Now like Rava. We're talking about a case where he was a third party, and you gave it to one person. This person who took the neder gave it to another person, and then the other person gave it to you, so you're a third party, so he didn't mean to answer in that situation. Amar Rashi is daikanami. It's actually very meduya. It's a precise reading of the Brisa. The Kasani Shinisnalo. It was given to him, seemingly by a third party. The Lokasani Shinisnalo doesn't say that he gave it to him, it said it was given to him by a third party. Rav Nachman. Rav asked Rav Nachman one of the more famous questions in Maseches Nedarim. Yesh me'ila b'konamos olo. Is there a concept of me'ila? Right. Generally, according to the Rush, the only way of making a neder is attaching it to a korban. Right. Konam is a kinoi, is a nickname for a korban. So you're attaching it to a korban. Is it like hektish? Right. There's kedushas guf, right, which is an animal. You can makish a guf and be makir that on the mizbeach, or you can makish any item and give it over to the Beis HaMikdash, Kedushas Damim. So when I make a neder, does that have Kedushas Damim or not? Whether it be Me'ila, meaning if I benefit from it, a Moel, I use property of Hektish for my own personal use, so therefore it goes L'chulin, and I have to repay Hektish plus 1/5. Does the din of Me'ila apply over here, or did I simply just violate a neder and Isra in the Torah, of Val Yachal Dvaro? Amar Lei, so he said back to him, Tanisua. You have a proof from our Mishnah. In a case where, right, we're talking about being Meshiv Aveda, a person took a neder, Ruvain took a neder that he's not going to benefit from Shimon. And then Reuven lost something. Can Shimon return it to him or not? So he said that it's a place where there's a returner's fee that people charge for returning a lost object. So the money, right, the money that is the returner's fee should go to Hektish. L'meimra kehektish. Why did it say like Hektish? To tell you what, the nether is like Hektish. Ma Hektish, yesh bo mila, af konamos yesh behem mila. So too, konamos also have mila. They're like Hektish, they're like Kedushas Damim. The only difference we'll see that konamos is a lot of time a nether you can just answer on one person. Hektish Kedushas Damim is Hektish. When I makdish something to the base of Mikdash, I makdish this tripod to the base of Mikdash. So the tripod is answered to everybody. Konamos, Nedarim could be usher in just one person. We'll see in a second. So the Gemara says, "Zaksham akolis anoim," whether it is meila but konamos or not. Konam kikar do hektish. This konam that this kikar is like hektish va'achla, and then he did meila. He ate it. He violated the nether. Bein hu bein chaveiro mal. Right? He made the entire kikar hektish to everybody, whether he eats it or his friends eat it. They did meila. Fi hagish la pidyon. Therefore, since it's Kedushas Dam Lagamre, it's right, basically property of the Beis HaMikdash, so therefore it's mamish like Hektish, and you can redeem it, right? You can redeem it and add a 1/5. Kedushas Dam you can redeem, it says in the Torah. Kikar Zeh Alai Hektish. He says Kikar is to me is Hektish, V'achla. Right? But to you it's not Hektish, but to me it's Hektish. The net is only on me, and then I ate it. Mal, who mal? Chaveiro lo mal. If his friend ate it, he didn't do me'ilah. Only if I ate it, I did me'ilah. The fi'achayin lapidyon, therefore, in this circumstance of Nedarim, even though there is me'ilah, according to Rabbi Meir, nonetheless, there's no pidyon because it's not completely like Kedushas Damim. He's not usher to everybody. Different Rabbi Meir. Those are the words of Rabbi Meir. But Chama argue on the entire premise of Rabbi Meir. Benkach lo mal. There is no me'ilah b'konamos. The fish ain't me'ilah b'konamos. Why? Because there's no me'ilah b'konamos. Now, they don't really offer so much in way of svara understanding this machlokas, but if you stick around for Einon Ben Zion, I will tell you what I believe is the correct explanation of the machlokas. We happen to pass on like Rabbi Meir, there is milah b'konamos, which is a big chumrah. So therefore, if you have a nether, you owe money technically based on Mikdash. Nowadays, if you ask them in the nether, really you owe money to based on Mikdash. You can't give it to based on Mikdash. You probably have to take it and throw it into the Yam HaMelech. Amalei Ravacha Breder Avi Ravashi Kikari Alecha. My kikar is usher upon you, like Rava's case. And he gave it to him as a matana. So we conclude like Rava, even though the end of the Gemara didn't seem to say like Rava yesterday, but we passed like Rava. Mimal. So who did Me'ilah? According to Rabbi Meir, there is Konamas Me'ilah. Who did the Me'ilah? Limol Mol No Sain. The person who made the nether belonged to him, and he gave it to his friend. Halo Asirale. It's only Asir Alech on you. Limol Mikabel, the person who got it as a present from Yachol, the Amar Hatiru Ba'isi Suralo Ba'isi. You're giving me a present? I don't want it. I would be Makabel a present if I knew it was Asr. I only Makabel a present if I knew it was Mutter. Amar Lei, so he says Makabel Mal. The only one who could do Me'ilah is the person, the recipient, obviously, Likshiyosi, but no, not when he is Makabel it, because he can say, I didn't want him Makabel something which is Asr. If I knew it was Asr, I wouldn't Makabel it. But when he goes ahead and spends it or uses the object, he eats the bread. So then he does me'ilah. Shekal multi mo'os hektish l'chulin kasavar shechulin hu mo'ol avzeh mo'el. Similarly over here, the whole concept of the me'ilah really only applies to shogeg, right? If you do it b'mezid, there's no knas of a chomish. It's a different avera. It's a worse avera. Me'ilah really is a different b'shogeg. I think it's chulin. It ends up being hektish, and I use it for my own purposes. So here also, he thought that it wasn't hektish, but it was. So you can't fault him for makabel, because you can say, I didn't want him makabel. I don't accept presents that are usher, but when he benefits, he eats the loaf of bread. He can't say, I didn't like the loaf of bread. I love you eating bread. There's nothing like good white bread you can buy in the supermarket in America. It's one nice thing of living in Eretz Yisrael here. Like fresh bread. They bake this fresh bread every day. It's really amazing. So therefore, that's the case. The Gemara says, "Avzemo he commits me'ilah when he eats the loaf of bread." Let's jump ahead. Lamed Ham with B's 35b the Mishnah. The Torah is trumaso. Again, Reuven and Shimon asked Reuven to get enough from him, or Reuven himself said, "I don't want to get enough from Shimon." Reuven can't get mad from Shimon. Nonetheless, Shimon can do certain things for Reuven. The Torah is Trumas or Masrosa. If he wants to help him take off Trumas and Maishas. We'll discuss more in the case whose money is he using to take off to pater Reuven's Kri, his pile of grain from Trumas and Maishas. Is it his own money or is it the money of Reuven? Anyway, he can do that. He can do that. He can take off Trumas Maishas as long as he has the permission of Reuven. A certain karbanos, a zav and a zav. A zav is a man who has a seminal emission. A zava, a woman who sees blood, which is not dam nida. Kina yodos kina, or a woman who gave birth. She has to bring karbanos, chatos, v'hashamos, chatos and asham. Chatos we bring on certain sins, and asham we bring on certain sins. He could be makar of that korban. We'll see in the Gemara really it means if he's a Kohen, he can go and bring the korban for you in the base of the Mikdash. Midrash halachos v'agados. Not only that, he can teach you Torah, right? Even though normally people take a fee for teaching Torah, we'll see. Maybe you can't take such a fee for teaching Torah. You can only get monetized on YouTube because YouTube is paying you, not the person. Midrash halachos v'agados. He can teach you medrash, halachos, mishnah berurah, agados. He can teach you the agados in the Gemara. Doesn't actually say the main part of the Gemara. But lo yimodenu mikra. You can't teach him Torah because Torah, teaching him Torah shebachtav, you can take money for it. Amlam and who is one of his benosa mikra. Nonetheless, he can teach his children and his daughters also learn Torah shebachtav. Gemara says ibayilhu. The Gemara is a famous question over here. Hani kohani shluchei danhavu or shluchei deshmaya. Kohanim, in general, when they break karbanos in the base of Mikdash, they do a lot of vodas in the base of Mikdash. Are they the servants of you, the person who's being makar of the karban? They're doing a service for you, or really they're just doing a service of Hashem to bring the karbanos? Hashem appointed them to bring your karbanos. L'may nafkamina. So the Gemara says, what's the possible nafkamina? Lamudar hana. In a case where you say you're not going to get benefit from the Kohen. If you'll say that they really are shluchim of us, of the people, I'm benefiting you, the Kohen's benefiting you by bringing your korban. If you say they're merely appointed by God to do the will of God, it should be mutter. What's the halakha? Tashma. The Snan, our Mishnah says, Makar of Allah, Kinei Zavin. If you'll say there are shluchim of us doing our services, our bidding, it should be us, or how could they offer karbanos on your behalf? So the Gemara asked back, according to your reasoning, Lisni makar of love karbanos. Why does it specify certain types of karbanos? You say you can makar any karban, whether it's an ola or a shlamim. It only says certain karbanos. Elam chusrei kapara shiny. The only karbanos that it can be makar for you in the base of Mikdash are karbanos which are mechusrei kapara, means when I bring the korban, it enables me to eat hektish, to eat meat, to eat food which is hektish, or matters me. It ends a certain period of tumah for me. Which is not found by a korban ola or korban shlamim. Why are those different? Sha'arei adam, maybe korban albonov of albanosav aktanim. Those don't need my permission, right? I can bring a korban not just for myself, also my children. Shnemar zos torahs hazav ben gadol ben katan. If my child who's under bar mitzvah has a zav, a seminal mission, so I could bring a korban for him, even though he can't give me his consent, right? A minor can't give his consent. Nonetheless, you could do it for him. So therefore, even if you say shluchei didan, there are shluchim, right? The kohanim are shluchim of us, right? When they do something, like the Gemara is going to say, if he does something without me asking it, without my knowledge, without my consent, he's doing it adaiti denasha. He's not doing it for me. He's doing it for his own purposes. So therefore, it's not called me getting hana from him. Elama'atas, the Gemara said, the Rabbi Yochanan, those Torahs he oledas. Rabbi Yochanan says those. It also says the word Torahs. Torah is an inclusive word. We said it includes both a katan and a gadol. Being tanam and gadol, you're going to say that means also by yoledes, whether she's a katan or a gadol, she brings a korban yoledes. K'tana bas leidahi, can she give birth? V'atani Rav Bibi, kameda Rav Nachman. Rav Bibi taught in front of Rav Nachman. Shalosh nashim misham shos v'mok. 3 women are allowed to use either a condom or a sponge or something like that. A contraceptive matter in order to prevent getting pregnant. Ktana, umu beres, umika. Woman is ktana, she's under bat mitzvah. Umu beres, or she's pregnant. Or minika, she's nursing. The reason for each being Tana, Shemot is Haber of Thomas. The reason being for Ktana, she's allowed to use contraceptions because if she becomes pregnant, which is a possibility, the baby will overpower her and kill her. So it's suffering nefashos. So you see, she can't actually deliver a child. So how could she bring a korban yoledis? So the Gemara answers, "Those Torah yoledis ben pikachas ben shota." It is coming to include someone without a level of consent, but it's not talking about a ktana. It's talking about whether she's able-minded or she's a shota. She's someone who has psychiatric problems and she can't think clearly. Nonetheless, you could bring on behalf of her. She can't other maybe korban alisha shota. And not husband, if he's married to shota, he brings a korban for her, he can bring it for her, and he's actually obligated to do so. Kediva Rabbi Yehuda, like Rabbi Yehuda's words, is Tanya. Yehuda Omer other maybe korban ashir al ishto korban shechayev shkak kosev la leachrayas to isli alach min kanda dana. He writes in the Ksuba that I have responsibility over you in all things, and to bring korbanos for you. One of the korbanos ashir is a korban leida when she gives birth, so he's responsible to bring that. Or any sin that she does, he's responsible to bring a korban for her. So you see, even though she's a shota, right? He's married to a shota. Nonetheless, he's able to bring the korban, even though she can't give consent. Nonetheless, he brings the korban for her, and that is what's included in Zos Torahs Hayoledas. That's the conclusion of today's share. We'll continue this discussion tomorrow on Daf It Vav. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for Yunus Ben Sion, where we discuss Yesh Me'ila B'Konamos, Ein Me'ila B'Konamos. Machlokes are in the Chavim. Very fundamental machlokes about the essence of what a neder really is. We'll talk about that more. Yunus Ben Sion coming up next.